Welcome back. My name is Christina, 34, and I've been with my boyfriend Jesse, 36, for 5 years now. I love him and would die for children with him, but he hasn't proposed for some reason. It was driving me insane. All my friends were married or getting married, and I can't believe I'm about to say this story out loud. Last night, we were celebrating his birthday in one of his friends' houses. It was a big party, and all of his friends were over, and all of his friends brought their friends, and needless to say, it was messy. It was chill in the beginning. We were playing charades and drinking. But soon it became one of those rowdy teenage parties once Brad, 36 male, came in, one of Jesse's best friends, since college and still going strong. He brought some new people with him and had more drinks and snacks. The party was so good that everyone drunkenly invited everyone they knew into the humble 2-story home. Soon enough, every part of the house had drunk people dancing, making out, or playing games. I'm sure that everyone was wasted and won't remember that night. I will for the rest of my life though, and so will Jesse, unfortunately. Around 9 p.m., everyone gathered to sing happy birthday to Jesse. We had this small red velvet cake with a bad picture of him on it as a joke. He blew out the candles, and somebody decided to make a mess and push the cake into his face. Then it became too messy, so I had to get some fresh air and clean my clothes from all the frosting. I went to the bathroom to clean myself thoroughly and went up to the roof of the house. It had a beautiful view. To my luck, I wasn't alone. There was a stranger having a cigarette break. I asked for a cigarette. I don't know why, but I went for it and smoked with him on his cigarette break. Let's say his name was Chris, 33 male, and he was an owner of a yacht club. He was flirting shamelessly. He didn't know who I was. The cigarettes were finished and we kept talking, and it felt great to get that amount of attention and seductive looks, until his hand was on my waist and we started kissing. Then kissing turned into a fully clothed quickie. He was about to finish when we were interrupted by someone yelling my name. It was Brad. He was on the roof with a girl on his arm. He marched towards me telling me to fix myself and grabbed me by the arm. He marched downstairs and I begged him not to tell Jesse, but he wouldn't stop dragging me down to the living room where Jesse was almost passed out drunk. He woke Jesse up and told him about everything. Jesse didn't believe him, so as Chris was leaving, Brad called him and confronted him about it and asked him what he was just doing. He said I was banging her on the roof of this house and pointed to me, and I immediately started breaking down. Jesse stood up and asked me if it was true, and I said yes. He immediately stormed out of the house alongside Brad, and it was the last time I heard from Jesse. The party died a little after when the owner shut it down. I stayed the night with our friends, even though they weren't very welcoming after they heard what happened. I couldn't stop from crying myself to sleep. The next day, I woke up at 4 p.m. and immediately ordered an Uber to our place. I got in to find the place half empty. Jesse had managed to move his things out in one day. His wardrobe was empty, and every item he owned was not there anymore, even his lazy chair. There was a letter and an open, empty ring box on it. The letter said, "I don't need to confront you face to face. You don't even deserve it. You said it was true. There's no turning back from this decision you made. I can't believe I was going to propose to you yesterday, just for you to fuck someone else on the same day. You can keep the box to remember what you almost had. But the ring is for someone who actually deserves my loyalty and commitment." Edit. I have reached out to him multiple times, but he blocked my number. I went to Brad's and he was there. But Brad wouldn't let me in, and he wouldn't let me talk to him at all and shut the door to my face. I broke down and passed out on his doorstep. I woke up to Brad splashing water on my face and asking Jesse if he should call the ambulance, but then gave me a ride home after he made sure I was fine, still not letting me into the house even after passing out on his doorstep. I tried talking him into talking things out between me and Jesse, but he refused completely, standing by Jesse's decision of not wanting to see me or talk to me. I cried and begged him and he wouldn't budge. He said, "When I saw you on the roof, I couldn't believe my eyes. How can something so precious be taken for granted?" I knew about the proposal, and I asked him if he was sure enough. You know what he said? "I've never been more sure. She's the love of my life." Then he asked me to get out of the car. Update. No, it didn't work, guy. He wouldn't take me back. I can't believe that I let him slip through my hands like that for a stupid, lustful moment. I didn't know what got to me. I had sex with a complete stranger on the day of my boyfriend's birthday party and the same night he was gonna propose. I think I'm gonna go crazy. If I had just waited a little more time, if I hadn't let Chris's seductive looks get to me, I would have been already engaged to the love of my life. I'm in so much pain that I lost him in the glimpse of an eye. I lost 5 years of love and memories because of one thing that I was going to get already. Story 2. Background. My wife is the first woman I ever kissed and the only woman I've ever had sex with. We dated in college, got married, gave birth to our now 4-year-old son, and are living the typical suburban family life with no drama. We both go to work, finish work, pick up our son from preschool, come home, eat dinner together, have movie and pizza nights, spend quality time together over the weekends doing family-friendly activities. It's quiet, boring, and repetitive, but I love being a father and love my wife more than anything. We have sex like a stereotypical married couple with a kid, maybe once or twice a month. And it generally ends up being the usual predictable, loving, safe, and relaxing sex you would expect. There are no issues with communication and are both generally happy with work and our home life. It doesn't get any more cookie cutter. I'm happy though, to not be out there on the dating scene and truly do love this lifestyle I have, because it's brought a lot of calm and security to both of our lives. Now, my dark, curious side. My wife knows that in my past, I've struggled with weight and self-esteem issues, but I've largely been over it after I lost the extra weight. In the past, before we had our son, I went to therapy for being an insecure, overweight guy who hated himself and needed validation of my attractiveness with other women. She had several partners before me and knows that I was a virgin when we hooked up. That always fed into my insecurities back when we dated. I was tempted to cheat several times on her back then, but always resisted out of respect and what was a real love forming between us. Part of me couldn't believe I had ever gotten with her and wondering why she would even give me a chance, but she supported me and loved me through every step of the way. She's been my rock-solid advocate for as long as I've known her. That temptation to cheat has returned, though. As I get older and settle into family life, the thought of dying and never having had sex with another woman in my life seems to be one of those missed opportunities that I'll regret forever. Porn exacerbates all of these feelings, and someday I feel like I can't control the lust and curiosity I have to just simply know what another woman's body feels and tastes like. I've been fucking the same woman for over 15 years, and I don't know any different. This is the only aspect of our relationship that she's not aware of. And I don't even want to bring it up out of fear. I know that nothing she can do will ever satisfy my curiosity, short of giving me permission to go explore, which isn't gonna happen. So, cut to right now. She'll be leaving town with my son and going across the country for Thanksgiving to visit Grandma. I wasn't able to get all the time off I needed from work like she did, so I'm staying behind. I'll be alone for several days and have been tempted to cheat with an escort call girl. Even though I couldn't be happier to be a husband and father and to have the life that I have this dark, curious, scumbag perv side to me that stays quiet and in the shadows. I feel like if I were to do this and get it over with, I would be done with the curiosity and would go back normally to life. It's just sex, and there's no emotional risk at stake, nor would I feel tempted to ever leave my wife or family. There's absolutely no way that she'll ever find out. So go ahead and tell me how wrong I am and what a piece of shit I am. Or tell me that you understand why I would do something like this given my background. Should I be doing this? You should discuss this with your wife. It's that simple. I honestly find it odd that you can't discuss such very important feelings with your wife after 15 years, and you should really break through that barrier. One thing I can tell you is that many people have these feelings. They're perfectly normal, and you shouldn't be ashamed of them. Having them out in the open so your wife can support you will make it much simpler to deal with them. I'm sure you can find some way to deal with these feelings together. The worst thing that can happen is that you'll split up. If that happens, at least you did it all with the highest integrity and set a good example for your son. Comments. What happens when you're not satisfied with the one time? What happens when you know you've betrayed your wife, the person you love? What happens when you realize you're not the person you probably hoped that you would be? She supported you and loved you. And now you're going to betray her for some physical impulse that won't be as different or as great as you've built it up to be. Porn isn't waiting out there for you. How would you feel if your wife did the same? She's bored of you and wants to remember what it's like to fuck someone different. Doesn't that make you feel pretty bad? At that age, I could have been you. Now I'm 52, haven't cheated. And at age 51, I got hit by prostate cancer. I'm still not fully functional from the surgery, but my wife is here for the long haul. If your sex life is okay, don't be a dick, work on it. I got out of the shower this afternoon and my wife took me to bed. I still don't have full function from the cancer surgery. I figured I would go down on her and get her off. I didn't realize she wanted to get me off. All she wanted to do was make me happy. See my other posts. She has a different history. Good for her. If I never have sex with another woman, so be it. Don't throw away the good for a fantasy. If anyone here could justify it for you, it might be me. If she loves you and you have a real sex life, don't be an ass here.